Good morning, everyone. Come on in. We're going to give just a second for everyone to come in and join us. But while we are doing that, I would like to thank our replay viewers for coming in and being a part of this. If you are on YouTube, don't forget, if you are a jeweler with Premier Designs Jewelry and you're not yet a member of the Buffy's Toolbox group, please feel free to come on over to Facebook and request to join. I do ask that if Premier is not listed as your occupation, meaning if when I'm looking at the request, if I can't see directly from that request that you are a Premier Designs jeweler and maybe you've had a request there for a while and it hasn't gone through yet, please message me and let me know that you requested to join, that you're a jeweler. Let me know either your jeweler number, your downline, your upline, whoever, somebody that I might know. Okay, just so that I can verify that in fact you are a jeweler before I allow access to that page. Okay, for those of you who might be joining us on the replay here in Buffy's Toolbox group, the way that you will know whether or not you are a part of the replay or here live is whether or not there is a little red live box up above my head. If there is not said red box, then you are here on the replay, and please feel free to go ahead and comment. Please know, however, that for whatever reason, Facebook does not allow me to see comments on this group. It does not send me notifications when somebody leaves a comment. So I try to periodically go back through and kind of look at things. But if it's been a while since you've asked a question and I haven't gotten to you because I didn't see the comment yet, please feel free again to go ahead and message me. Good morning to everyone joining us live. How is everyone doing today? Good morning. Good morning. So we have from Michigan, Amy. Thanks so much for joining. So today is our Wisdom Wednesday, so I want to share just a little piece of wisdom with you. Okay, so today's is actually going to be what I think is going to be a pretty easy scope training, whatever you want to call them. Listen, I'm probably still going to keep calling them scopes even though I'm not on Periscope doing this. I don't know how to get away from that after a year of constantly saying scope. I need to retrain my brain a little bit. But anyway, so today I want to share just something real quick with you. I think it's going to be quick, but who knows? We'll see. You know how that works. Sometimes the good Lord decides that there's more He wants shared on the topic than what I originally had intended. So what I want to share with you today is the importance of staying a student of your business. Okay? Now, for those of you who are here watching this, you already have a good handle on this because you are already coming to learn, to hear more and things like that. But it is so vitally important that we continue to always be a student of our business. And here's why. The minute that you think you have this thing all figured out, the minute that you think you know all the answers, that you know the best way to do this, is the day you may as well just hang up your hat and be done. Because what's going to happen is the business is going to change. The economy is going to change. People's lifestyles are going to change. And what once worked before may suddenly stop working. Okay? And if you are not consistently putting in the effort to always learn what's new, what's up and coming, what's trending, what's this, what's that, okay? As a quick example, okay, 10 years ago when I came into the business, to the best of my knowledge, scarves were not really on trend, nor were pins, okay? Yet, that was one of the fashion things that was taught to me that I should be showing at my shows. Problem was, most people weren't wearing scarves or pins, okay? So it came across to me as being very outdated, okay? Now, scarves and pins are coming back in more so than what they were 10 years ago, but it's one of those where you need to make sure that when you're going and doing these shows, that you are staying on top of the trends, of what's fashionable, of what people are wearing, of what people like, okay? Because if not, you could very quickly become irrelevant in this industry. Okay? And that's not a place that we want to be, right? We would rather be irreplaceable than irrelevant, right? So you want to make sure that you are constantly learning, okay? That you are constantly researching, that you are a student of your business. There's a couple of reasons why you want to make sure that you're doing that. One, it keeps you humble when you realize you don't know everything. Okay? It keeps you humble when you realize that there is so much more information out there than you even realize possible. Okay? It also allows you to be a better leader. Because here's the thing. If you know of only what you know because this is only what you do, it could be very tricky for you to be able to sponsor a new jeweler who does not have your same personality and perhaps is not able to do the same games that you do, or is not able to do the same sort of presentation that you do. Okay? It could make things very tricky if you share with somebody that, hey, this is, I tried this once, it worked for me, and therefore I kept doing it. Okay, so if you've been basically doing the exact same thing for, let's say you've been doing the same thing for the last 10 or 15 years, you might kind of take for granted how difficult it is being a new jeweler first coming in trying to learn all this stuff. So it's going to make you a better leader, remembering that there's all these new little things out there that they can have access to. And here's the thing, it's not to say you have to be an expert on everything. Make no mistake there. It's not to say that you need to be an expert in all things, but you should at least be aware of all things. Okay, you should at least be aware of all the different, sponsoring activities and booking activities and, things like that. Like, you should at least be aware of those things. All right. You should at least be aware of the current trends. What, is going to be hot for the coming season or things like that. You should at least be aware of those things. Not to say that you have to be an expert, again, but to say that you are aware, that you can drop little nuggets here and there that continue to make you relevant in today's fashion and in today's trends, okay? The other thing is, I want to share this real quick. Okay, so I'm just going to put it out there like this, okay? There was a person who was once a part of our Premier Designs family years ago, all right? She came into the business. Now, mind you, she was not a fashionista, which was okay because I wasn't when I started either, okay? But she was also, like, to her, there was no, like, it was just, she knew what she knew, and this is just what was it, okay? She really wasn't going to deviate from anything. She wasn't going to deviate from her own style. She couldn't even, like, look at another style that wasn't hers and be able to say anything nice about it, okay? Kind of one of those people, all right? So, needless to say, she did her very first jewelry show on her own, and there were 14 people at this jewelry show, and she sold one pair of $19 earrings. This is the Brazil, and thank you. It looks like Patricia likes this one too. So needless to say, there was 14 people there. She sold one pair of $19 earrings. And not to say that that isn't possible for any one of us, because truth be told, it absolutely is. That could happen to any single one of us. What put a bad taste in my mouth for the situation was when I asked her and said, so tell me what you think might have happened there. What do you think, what do you think happened? I don't know what was wrong with those people. I had them all excited about the jewelry, and then when it came time to order, it was like suddenly their wallets could not open. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I said, so looking back, you can't, there was nothing that you could look at and say, well, maybe when this happened, I could have said this, or maybe, and okay, so 14 people, no bookings, no interest in the opportunity, and one $19 pair of earrings were ordered, okay? And I said, so, like, was there anything that looking back that you could say, well, maybe next time I should do this different? Nope. I did everything right. I did everything perfect. And I'm thinking, I've been in this business for how many years at that point, and I still didn't do everything perfect. So looking at the fact that this was her very first jewelry show, I'm like, there's no way that everything was done perfect. And as she is telling me this, we happened to be together in a certain retail store. And as we were talking about this, and she's sharing with me what happened, because it just so happened I ran into her in the parking lot. So she went in with me. We chatted, whatever. So she's filling me in on all this. I was trying on clothes, and I came out in a kind of trench coat type jacket, and I was actually really excited about it. Like, I really liked the way that it looked on me. And so I came out to show my daughters and her, and as I'm standing there, and I'm like, I don't know, what do you think? And she goes, looked better on the hanger. She says, it makes your hips look big, and nobody wants that. And I'm immediately thinking, is this what she was doing at the jewelry show? Like, is it possible that people were trying things on, and she's going, oh, no, that doesn't look good on you. You should do this one instead. And they were possibly feeling pressured to purchase things that they didn't even like, because according to her, she knew it all and she knew best. And I'm thinking, oh my word. Okay, now I will share that is the one and only jewelry show that she ever did. And when renewal came around the next year, you guessed it, she didn't renew. Okay. And it was just one of the craziest things to me, because I thought, here's someone who is just starting out, had her very first jewelry show, and according to her, there was nothing she could have done different. There was nothing she did wrong. Everybody else was the problem. Like, basically, I had them all excited about the jewelry, and then they didn't buy. I don't know what their problem was. The fact of looking at things that way and feeling like there wasn't anything that she could have learned from the situation, or that there wasn't anything that she could have done different, or perhaps being willing to admit that, you know what, I don't know everything. Maybe things would have gone different had she been more humble, had she not have been arrogant, had she not felt that she had all the right answers, when obviously she wasn't there. I felt like she also couldn't have possibly been there to serve, if that was her vision, if that was her, I'm not even sure of what the word is that I'm looking for, but if that was how she felt that those people represented things. Does that make sense? Like, if that was her opinion of the people at the show, no wonder, right? No wonder. Okay? So it is so stinking important that we realize, I don't care if you are doing your very first show, or if you are doing your 1500th show, whatever. I don't even know if I said that right. Okay. We all have something that we can continue learning. We all have times where we do something and then after the fact we might be going, you know what? I'm kind of thinking if maybe when she said this, maybe I should have said this. Or maybe when she did this, I could have responded in this way instead. And if we're willing to do that, okay, then you're going to be able to get along in life a lot easier, not to mention in your business, okay? Because while it is important for us to be confident in what we know and sharing that knowledge and everything else, it is not a, like, only I know, and you're not going to tell me anything any different. And if you don't listen to my fashion, then you're da 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 da. Okay, like you cannot be that way with people, or at least you cannot be that way with people and expect them to like you. You cannot be that way with people and expect them to continue to want to do business with you. It's to me that's crazy. Like I walk away from every situation going, what can I learn from this? And that's what we should all be doing. Okay. Every single time that we have a situation that comes up, we need to, take care of it, address it, whatever, but then go, okay, what can I learn from this for future? What can I learn from this in terms of, maybe I should have said this. Maybe I could have said this. Maybe the next time this happens, I will say and do those things. So it's important for us to do that. And it's also important for us to not belittle others and make them feel like they don't know as much as we do. Does that make sense? Okay. Like I can tell you as an example, the very first time that I was ever asked to train at a training. Okay. First off, let me just tell you, I was scared to death. I had just become a builder and I still didn't feel like I knew squat. Okay. When I was asked to train at a training in Newark, and I immediately kind of went into panic mode. And I'm telling you, I don't know if anybody else realized it, but I felt like at that training, I felt like I was going to hyperventilate. Like I was like, I felt like I was doing the entire training in one breath, or that I was at least trying to. But what blew me away was when I looked down and I saw my premier great grandmom at the time, who was a 4-diamond designer, was taking notes of things I was saying. And I I kind of fumbled a little bit with the sentence that I was currently on, because it really caught me off guard. And I almost wanted to stop the training and look at her and go, what on earth could you possibly be learning from me? You are a 4-diamond designer. I am a builder. I've only been in this business for 2 years. There's no way you could be learning anything from me, was my mindset. Until the longer I was in, and I saw brand new baby jewelers coming in and newly promoted jewelers and things like that, and realizing that I was still learning from them. And I was still picking up on things, and I was still hearing new ideas and things like that. That's one of the other reasons why I love going to trainings of other people that I don't typically train with, because it's neat to kind of see that. It's neat to hear all those different ideas floating around that perhaps haven't made their way into my premier family yet. Okay. So it goes back to, again, always be willing to improve, always be willing to learn, always be willing to, because here's the thing, nobody can take your knowledge and your education away from you. Okay, that's something that you can do and you can hold on to and you can share with others and things like that. And it is going to help you in your business and in life if you are willing to always be a student because you're going to be learning the new things. All right. Those who are sitting back going, nah, I've got this covered. I've been doing this for how many years? I know what I'm doing. Why do I need to go hear from this person? Why do I need to go? That is not the attitude to have, because you're going to miss out on so many amazing opportunities, and you're just like totally shutting your mind down going, nope. Now, again, I realize that for those of you who are here with me on a regular basis, I'm not talking to you, obviously, because you're here on a regular basis looking to learn new things, wanting to find out more. All right. But perhaps you know somebody who is struggling with this. Perhaps you know somebody who you just want to kind of, maybe they're not necessarily struggling with this, but you want to make sure that they never do struggle with that mentality. And maybe you want to just like put it out there like, look, this is a good thing. Like, keep learning. This is a good thing. We don't want to get stuck in a rut. We don't want to get to the point of where we're not being able to move forward because we're not keeping up with the times, because we're not keeping up with the fashion, because we're not keeping up with the ideas that are floating around out there. Okay. Now, I will say, if what you're doing is still working, keep doing it. That's okay. Keep doing it. But it's also good to have those backups and have that information on those other things that you could perhaps do. Because guess what? If it ever does stop working, you already have something else that you can plug into and be like, you know what? Okay, let me try this now. And you don't have to wait until you're down and out to start going and researching. You would already have the information, and you would be able to share that information, that when you have a new jeweler who comes in and says, just not sure if that works well with my personality. No problem. Guess what? I have tons of other ideas here. Let's go through them, and we can just kind of go through them together and see if there's one that stands out to you that you think, I might be able to do that. Let me try that one. Okay. So it's a good idea to always have those things. Now, one of the things that I also recommend, and this is something that I previously did, but I really need to get back to it and add to it, is I actually have binders that are listed: booking, sponsoring, business building, jewelry combos, whatever. Okay. And as I would write down notes at trainings, okay, then I would come home and those notes would get put into those binders by their category. Okay, so then that way, if I was struggling on bookings, or I had somebody else who was saying, hey, I need some help on bookings, or I would have somebody say, hey, can you do a training on bookings? Okay, I had all that info that I could just go right to that category and be like, okay, this is where I want to be. All right. One of the ways that you can do that is even by getting yourself the 5 subject notebooks. Okay. This was something that I had done my first couple of years, and it was awesome. Okay. And like I said, part of me really wants to go back to that, because I had, since there were 5 subjects, I had a different subject in each section. Okay. So it was like one was booking, one was sponsoring, one was business building, one was fashion, one was whatever. So as I would go to trainings and they would say, okay, we're going to have so-and-so come up and she's going to share some ideas with us on bookings. So then I would flip to my bookings, and that's where I would write down the info. Then as that binder filled, I took out of there and added it into my 3-ring binder so that I could keep kind of, right? Okay. So couple different things that you could do there, but just ways to be able to kind of keep things organized, keep the things organized that you are going out there and learning. If all you're doing when you go to trainings is writing things down in a notebook and then just storing the notebook somewhere, those notes have done you no good. No good. They need to be somewhere that you can, constantly be pulling those out every once in a while. It's no different than when you were in school studying for tests, studying for exams and things like that. If you just took notes and then never looked back at them again, chances are you weren't going to pass, were you? Okay. You weren't going to pass those tests. So it's kind of along the same lines. So just to constantly be willing to learn, be willing to improve on yourself. All right. I know some people who, again, have the mentality of, well, this is just who I am. Okay. And that's okay. But then be aware that if this is just who you are, then this is probably just where you're going to stay. Okay. And if you're content with staying exactly where you are at this time, there's no problem. But if you are someone who wants to excel, if you are someone who wants to achieve things that you never have, if you're someone who wants to go towards certain accomplishments, then you're going to have to be willing to get out there and learn. You're going to have to be willing to get out there and be a student and get out there and figure out ways to improve yourself, to improve your skills, to improve what you have to offer, to improve your knowledge, to improve all of that. Okay? All right. So that's what I'm going to leave y'all with. It is 10 o'clock. I'm going to pop off here because my daughter is actually getting ready to go to work. So I want to be able to scooch out here and see her for the next 15 minutes quick before she moves on. So absolutely. All right. So thank you guys so very much for being here. Tomorrow is our Truth Be Told Thursday. That's where you get to come and ask me questions about the who, what, where, when, how, why of my business, as far as what I do in my business that perhaps might be able to help you in some way in yours. So if there's a certain area that you're struggling with, maybe there's just something that you need some fresh new ideas on, whatever that might be, just come ready with your questions tomorrow and you can plug those into the comment stream and we will get through as many as we possibly can in our 30 minutes together tomorrow. So thank you guys so much. Don't forget, we'll be here at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow, unless I'm running behind like it seems like I always am. Sorry about that. Again, that's my optimistic side going, I have plenty of time. Actually, this morning, I thought I was going to have to take my youngest to work. So I almost thought I wasn't going to be able to do the scope today. And I was like kind of piddling around then because I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to take her. And then my oldest daughter said that no, in fact, she could take the youngest to work. So it was like, oh, okay, well, shoot, now I got to hurry up and get ready. So, gotta love that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to let you guys scooch. Thanks so much. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Many prayers and blessings into your business. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for being here.